Hi, this is George Flores along with Joe Battaglia, and we're hanging out in a room telling horrible jokes with a bunch of artists who represent some of the legendary groups in pop music. And together under one roof around this very table, we're going to be talking about our involvement, these guys, their involvement in a special song project called I Lift My Voice to You. And I'd like to welcome everybody here in this room. Hey, let's just start right off. Eddie Brigati of the Rascals. Hey.
Hey, hi, Mom.
How you doing? Richie Rosato of the Duprees.
Hello.
All right, Bob Miranda of The Happenings.
Hello.
And Gerry Polci of The Four Seasons.
Hello out there.
All right, and also with us, of course, in our studio booth behind us, and you guys have to wave and say hi, is the brains behind this thing, Lorenzo Crescibene, who wrote and produced this song, I Lift My Voice to You. Thank you for the music. Everybody say hi to Lorenzo.
Hey, Lorenzo. Gotta go now. Hi, son.
Hey, guys, welcome to this absolutely unique radio special. We're really glad you guys could take the time to participate. Hey, Lorenzo's going to be explaining a little bit about how he came up with the song and the idea to involve all these artists that are here. But first off, I want to say hi to each of these guys, and then I got to ask you, each and every one of you, what's happening? Talking about happenings, Bob Miranda of The Happenings.
See you in September.
How did you get tapped up by Lorenzo over here? How do you know
Lorenzo, I did a demo with Lorenzo many years ago, and then I was in California for 5 years or 6 years. When I came back, I was doing like a solo gig locally, and he popped up and said, why don't you stop down? We'll do some things. And I stopped down here. We became friends again, and that was the connection again. And that was about, I guess, a year and a half ago.
Tell us a little bit about your career, about your hits, about your writing, what you like to do.
Well, 1966, See You in September, and Go Away Little Girl, we had after that. I Got Rhythm, 1967. My Mammy was 1968, and a few obscure ones that didn't make it to the top after that.
But true collectors have every one of them.
Yeah, more than I do, really. And I've written some things for Jerry and the Pacemakers and the Chiffons. And I wrote for the Tokens publishing company for a while. They were Bright Tunes Productions, so that's where the songs, got distributed out of.
That's great. You've been following the careers of some of these other guys in the room as well?
Yeah, I have. I work with some of the guys, too, occasionally.
How about introducing the guy to your left?
This is Richie from the Duprees over there.
See the pyramids along the Nile. Watch the sunrise on a drive.
Here I am.
Hey, Richie from the Duprees. Lorenzo did some work with you guys. I think he was a session man with you for a while.
We, not only that, but we probably been together on and off for 15 years or so. He played with the group musically. We always do recordings here. Besides the old records that everybody may know, we're proud to say that we do a lot of other recordings. A lot of people think that we stopped recording, but that's the furthest from the truth because we're still recording even up till now. We just finished another project with Lorenzo.
Some of your favorite hits, some of the best things you think the Duprees are known for?
Well, You Belong to Me, obviously, the first one, yeah. And Have You Heard, Why Don't You Believe Me? But again, we're doing other recordings in that vein, even up until now, that we're still doing.
Yeah, I heard recently a selection, a lot of great love songs and songs from that era or style or genre,
right?
Done in an Italian flavor.
That we just finished, as a matter of fact. We just pressed, and just this week we have the CDs in.
What's it called?
Dupree's Italian Style.
There you go.
Well, we figured, there's four Italian guys singing love songs. Why not sing a few Italian love songs? So it's a
In
little
Italian?
little bit. A couple of lines here and there, more like a Jerry Vale style, so everybody can enjoy. Nice, soft, relaxing, where you want to sip a little espresso or maybe have some wine and cheese.
There you go. Okay, it's time for introductions all around. To your
Sure.
left, would you tell everybody?
Gerry Polci, Four Seasons.
Oh, what a night. Late December back in 63. What a very
Hey, Jerry.
Hello. How are you?
Oh, Nervous. There's all these great guys around one table.
Yeah, it's an honor for me also to be around with
This
these
is
guys.
really, really neat. Tell us a little bit about Four Seasons life for you, some of the hits for folks who are still learning about the great
Well,
days.
I was very fortunate. I came onto the band after it had the Four Seasons had a number of hit records. I came in the early 70s, and working with Frankie, of course. I mean, he's one of the Hall of Fame singers, and the act was able to nurture itself strictly on the past hits. And then in the 70s, we had a new lineup and started recording some new things. And I was very fortunate to and blessed that Frankie came to me and wanted me to sing on one of the songs. And that song was December 63, Oh What a Night. And it did pretty well. I mean, it turned out to be a pretty big song for them. And was re-released in 94 again and had it for a remix, and that went nuts. And so it was fun, a lot of fun. And I was with the band 15 years, over 15 years, so a lot of touring and a lot of good memories.
Great. This is amazing. And we're going to talk about how you guys all got together with Lorenzo, who spearheaded this song. But first, we've got one more introduction to do. And so to your left,
Eddie
Brigati.
and the Rascals.
How can I be sure in a world that's constantly changing? How can I be sure where I stand with you?
I used to be Eddie Brigati.
But
Lorenzo has been a dear friend for quite a few years. I don't want to mention 15-something years like that. But dear friend and family, and this is right in our neighborhood. We're local New Jersey, northern New Jerseyans. And we just like each other, like to work with each other, and very inspirational to be here, to be working. And then now I found out that all my other relatives live in the neighborhood. Like, you're all within, how far from here?
7 minutes.
Okay, I'm about 6.5. Yeah.
Real close to here, too.
for those who really aren't that familiar, maybe because you're just very young Rascal hits. Hey, let them know about it, Eddie.
Good lovin'.
Sure.
It's a beautiful morning, grooving. How can I be sure? People got to be free. We covered Mustang Sally, Midnight Hour. A couple other ones. Let me think for a while.
Well, while you're thinking about that, here we are. You know, a lot of the songs that are major hits for all of you guys and all of your groups are still very, very popular. I mean, we can hear them on some of the major oldies stations across America. And for that matter, anytime you go to a really good wedding reception, you're going to hear a lot of these selections.
Or the Super Bowl. The Super
All
Bowl.
right, the Super Bowl for that matter. Music's certainly changed a lot since the earlier days. What observations can you make? Just general, whatever. Good, bad, indifferent.
This is Richie, by the way. For our group, we're very fortunate that we didn't have to change anything over the years because of the tunes that were recorded. We're doing the same thing that we did 30 years ago or so, and fortunately, the people that hear the songs now they knew them then. Younger people know them today. There's more younger people coming out to see us. Actually, talking about weddings, like you mentioned before, we had a young guy that was 25 years old that saw us do a concert in Atlantic City and hired us specifically to sing You Belong to Me for his wedding song at his wedding. And he was only 25. So
wow.
The music, it can make that transition from young to older, older to young. You know.
Inside, he was old.
That's okay, too.
Inside, he had great taste.
So, and actually, we've been more busy now than ever throughout the years.
Yeah, this is Eddie. I think that just the volume of people. When we were starting out, I think there were like 10,000 groups or something like that. You know, there's 10 million in New Jersey alone. We have 10, but the volume of people and communications. You have to remember the phenomenon of the Beatles knocking down international walls and coming and marrying classical music to contemporary music, and just the miracle of radio and audio-visual arts. Extended now to places they won't even let us in. They're playing our songs where I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
But it's something that it's a phenomenon. It's a miracle that the industry is like. This is 30-something years later. I could add that the music business is one of the last things that you can take out of yourself, and there's a lot of stuff that happens to it, but it's a real reading of a real person trying to connect to other people. And that's something that's the grassroots. They can never take that away. And it's an option. If you don't like it, turn us off. Don't buy the records. Don't come to the concert. It's a real option that people, can support you. They actually support you by liking your work.
Well, now I've got a question for Gerry Polci. You had your song "Oh What a Night" redone, and it was done dance style and reissued and everything. I mean, there's an example of how the industry has changed. A remix of a song making it a hit again. How did you feel about that?
I enjoyed it, obviously. I enjoy the attention again, and the fact that song was able to hit a number of new people. And I agree with Eddie. The fan base has widened tremendously. At first, I get offended by covering or using other people's music to then make remakes or use sampling of tunes and then running tunes around them. At first, I was against it, like say with Puff Daddy using Sting's tune or whichever. Remixes work. I mean, it's an interesting way, or a better, sometimes in some degree, a better way to get to a newer audience. They can understand the song. It's a more contemporary feel, supposedly, and then it can spread out from there.
Bob Miranda, what are you thinking about the music industry these days?
I'm thinking that how has it changed? I think it's changed a lot. It's always going to change because it's so connected to culture. The culture, that whatever's going on in the country and with the youth and everything. And personally, I don't like a lot of rap music. I never did, quite honestly. And I, wrongly said, this is never going to last, But 15 years later, it's pretty popular. It's one of the most popular things out there. I just do what I like. And hopefully there's a market for it. And which is how I connected with Lorenzo again.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that actually, and Lorenzo's idea.
But I still do 50s and 60s music in my solo thing, and with the group, obviously, we do 60s. We do Rascals songs too, and Dupree songs.
You need a background singer?
So I love that kind of music, and hopefully other people do too. And
the one good thing about everyone's songs here, Eddie, Bobby, Jerry, the longevity of it, because you can probably, if you ask anyone from 25 years ago who sang Good Lovin' or To See in September or any of the tunes, they could actually name the artist. Something like Bobby was saying about rap artists and everything, not taking away from the talented people that are out there today. But probably in 10 years from now, you couldn't name all the artists that are singing today like you could from 30 years ago and the artists that sang the songs then.
Quick question. How do you guys feel about movies coming out and using one of your selections in a soundtrack, something like that?
How do you think I could afford to dress like this?
Oh, well, there it is.
Patch Adams and things like The Phenomenal, The Big Chill. That was the actual resurgence. I think the remarketing came 10, 15 years ago, where all these mega corporations linked up together and opened these markets that they're not even developed yet. Africa, China, the other 4/5 of the population of the world is out there.
Music's an amazing thing. I mean, can anybody agree what a great gift it's been to be involved doing something like this for a living? Hey? Is there an amen in the house here?
Wonderful.
Amen.
Yeah, sure.
Really. Amen.
And I was sort of wondering, when Lorenzo first explained the idea of his song, I Lift My Voice to You, Thank You for the Music, I thought, wow, how fortunate you are to know all of the guys, and there were a lot of guys on this list, by the way, who were asked as well.
We all owe him money.
You do?
That's why. That's why everybody came. They're nice and cooperative. And
well, you know what? It's a very unique kind of a song. What were your first impressions about it, Lorenzo's I Lift My Voice to You, Thank You for the Music? Anybody?
This is Bob, by the way. I thought it was a great idea, the way he explained it to me, of course, and I loved it. At least my section of it sounded great, and I thought it was a great idea, and I was excited to do it.
Also me, yeah. Richie, by the way. I after singing for so many years and having the opportunity to to sing with these guys. I mean, to just be on the same record as the guys that are here is a blessing right there. So I didn't hesitate at all to want to be a part of this.
This is Jerry. It was also the. I agree with Richie. It was also the reason for it for me. I mean, I have never been involved in a Christian song or praise song at all, and it was a very good opportunity for me to express my feelings on it. So it was great.
Eddie, yeah. Lorenzo is a tasteful person, and I think he shows his spirit. Everybody here knows him, and he's a positive person, and and this was perfect for it because it's a salute, Thanksgiving, and there were great voices. I got a little scared when he said Johnny Maestro was going to sing on it. But I'm not as scared anymore, Johnny. He didn't show up, did he? But Johnny's stuck in traffic somewhere because he does 4 or 5 gigs a day.
It seems more and more that people are accepting spiritual things in movies, in poetry, books, themes, and a lot of music these days too. And statistics are showing that more and more folks are taking an interest in these things. Maybe because they're getting older, they start to realize they're going to have to meet their maker or something. I don't know. But it's popping up. Sales are going up in spiritual areas all across the industry. What does that say to you guys in response to your involvement with this project?
This is Jerry. I really think that it's in response to the negativity that goes out with a lot of these projects and movies. And
it's like a reaction.
It's the human spirit
Yeah.
is bombarded constantly by whether it's an advertisement for soda or a major film that a kid or a mother or anyone would go see. And I think it just offends the human spirit. And I think it's an outgrowth of those things. I think it's
a counterbalance. Like
a counterbalance, right.
Swinging back. Who would think that rock and roll people would be decent spokespeople 50 years later?
Well, now that you're matured.
Now that I pay my taxes.
Grandma was right.
I'm a grandpa now. And I
Penance. You did a lot of penance.
Really, I think there was a certain kind of innocence. I think right after the war, we were babies that were born right after the war, or at least while it was going on. I was in my mom for Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and then I came out, hello. Nothing was the same, and I think, but we have the signals from our grandparents and our parents to put them in there. We do know what's right and wrong, but the whole world is speeding up, and it's everybody's aiming for that same little keyhole, and what's lacking really is spirit. They got the money, and we got the physical thing down, and the gun, and everything else. But the thing that really you leave here with is your spirit. And I don't know what how it interprets, but all these people here at one time showed their best. They're vulnerable, they were innocent, and we were children at the time. Mm-hmm. What would make such a statement like, how can I be sure, was a real statement? A 20-year-old guy saying, what's going on here? And then the hook line is that we'll do this together, or I'll be sure with you. But I think that age is kind of gone. That age, because that was the last of the war. This is the atomic age now, and I think it unleashed beautiful, wonderful things and horrible things, and it's up to us to choose again. It's up to you. It goes back to you again. What do you want to paint? What's your painting? What do you want to paint with? What's your
to show for the kids and everything after you
yeah
do, but you could only show so much, and then naturally they make up their own mind.
Really, they're the painters. They're painting already, and we're the colors, and we
try to give them the right colors.
Get the canvas ready, and we tell them you got too much red over here and too much black. But now these colors are coming out. The yellows and the spiritual colors are coming out, and we wrap them in music.
I guess that brings me to the next question. How about your own personal faith? Now, we're not trying to embarrass anybody here, but deep down inside, you know that there is somebody who gave you.
Yeah.
Deep down inside. Eddie's blowing up bombs over here.
No, that was a lightning bolt.
That was a lightning bolt coming down striking.
I always know that there's someone watching over me. I mean, with the good and bad that I've gone through, there's always somebody with their hand on my shoulder. So I have no doubt about it. and Eddie too.
Yeah. Now, for
Matter of fact, I see the hand on him right now.
April 15th.
Yeah.
There's always somebody watching over me. Always. They care if I wake up, if I go to sleep.
That's right.
Really.
You know what they say that there are no atheists in foxholes. Did you guys ever have a quick prayer backstage before a show of some sort? You ever have one of those situations where you knew you needed somebody supernatural to help you and you wound up praying? Bob, Jerry, anybody?
This Jerry. I mean, there are definitely times when you've just done a number of cities in a row and you're so beat. I mean, the glamour of it all has just worn off tremendously. And you're tired, and you need a push. And there have been a number of times I play drums and sing, and so I get tired. And there's been many times when I just said, Lord, please, I need you right now. I need the strength right now. And many times the group as a whole, I know now, Frankie and the group, they pray before every show.
Yeah, I do myself. I just a little touch right before you walk on a stage that that you just ask that give me enough strength to do a good show and to make the people enjoy and the best that you can.
Yeah, Bob?
I've done a lot of praying. I still do. It's part of my day, really. But I've been in situations where I didn't feel good, or my voice was not really there, and I do a lot of singing, a lot of falsetto, a lot of big range stuff, and sometimes it's just not there. But somehow, and I'm sure everybody who's a performer, you can go out there in any condition and completely forget about how you felt. I mean, you could really be sick, and I don't think that's a physical thing. I think that's a spiritual thing. I think something comes over you. At least it does for me. It's like an out-of-the-body thing, that happens when you're on stage. The energy that happens there. Everybody's shaking their head here because they know exactly what I'm talking about. I've gone out there with stitches in my mouth from dental, from whatever, and never even remember feeling a pang of pain or anything like that because I've been aided. I've been helped, and I know that it's something I feel really strongly about.
Hey guys, a lot of your contemporaries, a lot of artists, performers, musicians, singers have been doing albums with some sort of a spiritual element to it. Barbra Streisand did something recently, Eric Clapton, B.J. Thomas years ago, Mariah Carey. Do we have a trend here? What's going on here?
The maturity and having children and having responsibility and being in society makes you behave, I think, at your best. And going back to saying a prayer, I think every time you go on stage, you dedicate yourself to the Creator and that everybody has a good time. I don't think anybody goes on stage, with the intention of bumming anybody out. I think sometimes you suffer negativity at home, and you don't want to show that. You don't want to go and show the world the crisis. So
absolutely,
you turn it, you metamorphosize it, or you it's like an alchemy. You take that stuff and you make flowers out of it. You take that pain that you have and you create a positive picture, and that's what everybody relates to. You go up there and give them all your energy, and they shove it back to you, and they lift you, and then you shove it back to them, and by the end of the night, nobody's in the seat they were in.
Yep.
They all come out relieved and released and touching each other, and just everybody's smiling, or they get rushed into the ethers.
I also think that this is Jerry. I think if artists they might not be afraid to expose that side of themselves anymore. Maybe the difference between Christian music and pop music had this major wall in the middle of it because maybe they didn't think it would be accepted. Maybe it wasn't
cool.
It wasn't cool. Right. Too many people that they feel, maybe I'll turn this element of my or this section of my fans off. That might not be the case, and then maybe they're finding that out.
Like gospel bridged. Gospel bridged.
Exactly.
It was strictly, it was like forbidden for people to sing for contemporary reasons or laic reasons, and then that, I guess, it evolved. It broke away, and some of your greatest singers that came out of the church.
Sure.
Question for you guys: has it ever occurred to you that your ability to sing is a gift from the Lord?
I've known that personally forever. Especially when I started making a living doing that, and I have been for 35 years. There's no question in my mind where it's coming from. And as far as there being a trend, I think there is a trend, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be religious music to be spiritual always. I don't think. I see musicians accepting awards in all kinds of music, and the first thing a lot of them do is, I want to thank God for this, for whatever the award is or for the gift of the music that they got. That's spiritual music too. I mean, whatever kind of music it is. So I think there is a trend to, like Gerry said too, to not be so afraid to say it, that they are thankful for it,
Richie?
I feel I have a gift, yes, because, first of all, because I was never schooled with any music. So anything that I did was, that I know Eddie knows, it was stricly on the street corner or whatever.
Fear, I
and
call
exactly,
it.
Just doing it or trying to emulate what you heard as a kid growing up. The big band sounds, trying to emulate singing harmonies, listen to the horn sections, or listen to the older guys, whether it's Nat Cole or Sinatra or the rest of these guys. So without having any schooling in music at all and being able to sing, it's definitely a gift. There's definitely a gift handed to you. And like Bob said, to be able to do it for years and make a living of it, you're definitely blessed.
It's not an accident.
Yeah, you're definitely blessed.
Gerry?
Interesting. When Lorenzo came to me to try this song, I really thought about it a lot, and because I really never put it in that perspective. Honestly, I just never did. I mean, I've worked hard, all my life, and that sort of idea, and pushed, and whatever happened, but it really didn't. Now, after all these years, looking back on certain instances, I was helped tremendously. And now that with this record, I'm so glad that Lorenzo did call me, because it put a number of things in perspective for me. And it also gave me an opportunity to sing something other than the tunes that my kids know me singing. I mean, it's a legacy that my 4- and 5-year-old will say, wow, Daddy did this, yeah, and he also did this thing over here. This is great. I love this over here. And I'm sorry. And that was important to me, very important to me.
Eddie?
Yeah, singers being storytellers. I know directly when you talk about spirit, I think I got my voice mostly through my mother's heart, through my mother's spirit, and devout Christian. All holidays were about coming to grandmother's house and singing all the Christmas songs and stuff like that. But I remember being a little kid and running home, because my mom would get home after work. She was a seamstress, and put on Kate Smith and sing all those songs, and then there was the hit parade. These were all new programs on television, and they sang all popular songs. So we'd learn 10 songs a week. And as a little kid, I know all those songs. I'd have no business knowing them. But as spirit goes, I think we sing, we rejoice. But I directly got my voice to my mom. Her spirit and her joy, and she's a very clear person.
Sometimes I think, if you mentioned, Eddie, the Christmas songs, for example, Back at the Family, and you think of that song, The Little Drummer Boy, What More Can I Bring to the King? I know I'll play my drum for him. And sometimes I wonder if maybe that's what we can at least give. At least we can give our voices something back,
They say he who sings prays twice. That was an old saying that my mother used to keep on her refrigerator. And just in recognition, you can't, I don't think you could be a singer, so to speak, without being introspective. And inside is all that stuff in there, and you choose what you want to show or what you want to celebrate. And I don't think there's a right or a wrong. There's just, that's who you are. Those are the colors you're painting.
Well, it's always good manners to say thank you for something you got. That's how I look at it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Lord. Hey, guys, okay, quick question, go around the room real quick. I'm going to start with Eddie first, though, okay?
I'll make it short. You got an hour? I'm short. Me and life both are short.
Hey, Eddie, what does the future hold for you musically? What do you
wow. Probably the best hope I've had throughout the career. I'm working on a project, Sam Taylor, the blues man. Well, we produced his album. We're getting ready to release it. He's got a great history. He goes back to Joey D and the Starlighters. When he left the Starlighters, Jimi Hendrix took his place. So it's our history. It's our legacy. And we're working on that. And there's always the Rascal legacy. And I think to top it off, what we have and what we're working on right now, new songs that continue the, I call them the grandchildren or the children of the Rascal hits and the Starlighter hits. And sort of like this is the fourth quarter. And we're here, we showed up, we signed up, and now we just got to give it up. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Gerry Polci.
I took a bit of a turn in my life. I toured for many, a number of years with Frank, and then I got off the road. I got married to Frankie's daughter, my beautiful wife, Tony. We have 2 kids now, young kids. I went back to school, finished my degree. I teach middle school in New Providence. I'm a middle school band director, and I have charge of over 100 kids, and I'm enjoying it very much. I'm in my 4th year, and now in the last year and a half, I have put my own band together, and I do a lot of, still do a lot of playing as far as drumming, but I'm now that I've been established in the community as far as teaching and knowing what I need to do for the kids, I'm getting myself back into that.
That's great.
Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it, and thank you, Lorenzo.
Hey, okay, Richie Rosato.
Well, I'm happy to say that, like I mentioned before, that the group has been busier now than it's ever been, and we're continuing to record. We're doing a lot of Atlantic City work, cruise lines, traveling still, and hopefully, we're still going to do a lot more recording with Lorenzo, that's for sure. We'll be in here probably in another couple of months starting a new project, and hopefully this will go on for, I don't know, another 10 or 25 years or so.
10 or 40 years.
Yeah, right. And once again, thank you, Lorenzo, for asking me and having to be with these gentlemen with all this talent that I'm involved with here at this table today. Thanks again.
I'm talking over here.
Yay.
Over here. Over there.
Over there, too.
Bob Miranda.
Well, I still work with the group all over the country. We do concerts and casinos, mostly. Locally, I work alone. I do a solo gig with acoustic guitar, sort of oldies unplugged, 50s and 60s stuff. I really love doing that. And it's really different kind of music than what I do with the group, which I really enjoy the balance of it. And I still write country tunes. I've been writing a lot of country songs and some spiritual songs too. So I'm pretty busy like that musically. Yeah. And my thanks go out to Lorenzo and everybody here tonight. It is a joy and a pleasure, and I'm thankful for the company here. I really am. Thanks a lot.
Well, there you have it, some of the voices from I Lift My Voice to You. Thank you for the music, except that one guy didn't make it. I guess you're right, Daddy. He's stuck in traffic. Everybody say hey and thanks to Johnny Maestro.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
Hurry up. We're waiting.
Where are you?
Johnny Maestro, one of the voices on the song as well. Well, as you can imagine, there was a lot of laughter going on. After the mics went off and the guys stepped outside the booth, there was a lot of reminiscing and laughter, and I think we finished off the pizza as well. In just a moment, you're going to hear I Lift My Voice to You. Thank you for the music. Now, you've got to understand that this song features each of these guys singing a verse, and part of their lyrics include the hook or the title of a hit that they made famous. For an example, Richie Rosato of the Duprees sang You Belong to Me. And Bobby Miranda from The Happenings did See You in September. The worst that could happen? That's Johnny Maestro. How Can I Be Sure? Eddie Brigati of the Rascals. And Gerry Polci of the Four Seasons? Oh, what a night. But I've got to tell you, something did happen, and just a little bit later, a phone call came.
Girl, I heard you're getting married. Heard you're getting married. This time.
And I'm sure hoping this is Johnny Maestro?
Speaking.
Hey, Johnny, how are you?
How are you, George?
I can't believe it. Well, okay, so you missed the gathering with all of the guys here.
So I heard, yes.
And you missed the pizza.
Most important, of course.
Yeah, hey, but it's nice to have you with us. Johnny Maestro on the phone with us, family. And Johnny, first off, all of us listening in have just got to let you know we appreciate your songs. I'll tell you personally, 16 Candles, to this day, there isn't a DJ party I go to where I don't have the opportunity to play that for somebody and bless someone. That's a wonderful song.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And of course, your time with Brooklyn Bridge, really, really good stuff. Worst That Could Happen, powerful song.
It was a great tune. As a matter of fact, that tune wasn't supposed to be our first release, by the way. We chose that song as opposed to the record company doing it for us. And it was such a great song. I love the song.
Well, it spoke a lot of hearts related to that song. I'll tell you, that's the truth. Lorenzo was really excited when you said you'd come on board and work with this song. He really does believe that all of the singers involved in this project have been given a gift, pure and simple, and then it's the Lord who gives it. You ever think about that? You ever wonder about why you're not a transmission repairman?
Well, definitely, it definitely is a gift. Yes, that's for sure. And I'm glad it was given to me and not a tool for being a plumber. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we know exactly what you mean. We're glad you're using the gift wisely. I got to ask you. We put this question to the guys a little bit earlier. The changes that they've noticed in the music industry from back in the day when you started out to the way trends are happening and music styles are happening now. Any observations just from your heart?
Well, I feel the music is kind of just graduated from what it was when I began. To me, the only thing that's changed is the technology. They're using the same kind of voicings and harmonies that we did back in the 50s, and one thing that has changed though that I see is that the message in most of the songs today are not as simple and pure as they were back in the 50s. That's the one thing that I think should have stayed. A simple melody, a simple story, I think, is more important than trying to give a deep message,
Sometimes it's more universal, too.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, the song that Lorenzo composed that you sing on is about that very thing. It's a simple message of Thanksgiving. And, your part in it is really, really good, folks. So we'll be hearing that again when the song is aired. Johnny, how did you feel when Lorenzo approached you with the prospect of lending your voice into this song with the rest of the guys?
I thought it was a very good idea. I'm always open to promoting something good and to participating in something good like this. And all of my friends, of course, from Eddie Brigati and Richie from the Duprees and all of these guys are involved. And we've grown together in the music business, and anything that they're involved with, I'd be glad to be involved with.
Hey, Johnny, how did you come up? Now, the group was the Crests, right?
Well, the original group back in the 50s was the Crests, yes.
How did you come up with that name?
That name, I seem to recall it was just came from the top of our heads. We were asked what the group's name was when we were auditioning, and we hadn't had a name yet. And someone said, well, we're just the Top, and of course the Top is a crest. So one of the guys in the group said, yes, the Crests.
And how about, obviously, the Brooklyn Bridge?
The Brooklyn Bridge, that name came about when we first formed the group. We consisted of 11 people. That was back in 1968. And that was quite a large group for that time period. And someone in our management office didn't think it was going to work too well because of the size of the group, and they said that it would be easier to sell the Brooklyn Bridge than it would be to sell a group of this size. And obviously there was the name.
Johnny Maestro, before we get to the song, just a quick question. What do you want to see happen for the future for you, and what are you doing these days? Do you have any projects coming up?
We're doing a project right now. We're putting an album together. We are producing this album to raise money for the people in Yugoslavia. There's an organization called Our Lady Queen of Peace here in New York, and they approached us to put this album together for them so they can raise the money to send medical facilities and things like that over there. And we've been working on this for almost a year now, as a matter of fact. It's an album that's going to be mostly standard-type songs like Ave Maria, etc., and that's what we're doing right now, besides, of course, performing live. And we've been performing ever since the beginning. It seems like it's never stopped. And the people are just great. I mean, they come and support us. They've been supporting us for many, many years, and we will continue to sing for them, and hopefully, as long as I can sing, as long as they want me to, I will.
That is a great report, Johnny. Absolutely wonderful. Well, that's a pure example of how you're using your gift for the good. Johnny Maestro, thanks a lot for joining us, even if it is by phone and a little late. We're glad you could be here with us.
Well, it's been my pleasure, really, and I hope the next time I'm early enough for the food. So let's introduce the song right now, okay? I Lift My Voice to You. Thank you for the music.
Love was never the answer. The songs I sang couldn't set me free, but Jesus never let me go. He said, you belong to me.
I might forget some things along the way, but there's one thing I'll always remember, that God gave me the voice to sing. See you in September. He breaks the chain that hold us down. We surrender to you and forever abound.
I lift my voice to you. It's something I must do. When we lift up your name, driven from shame, arriving at a love so true. Yes, yes, I lift my voice to you.
You gave it to me all along, and I thank you. Thank you for the music. Thank you, Lord, for the joy of song, for life filled with music and passion. And please don't ever take these gifts, it'll be the worst that could happen. I was raised up with so much love, trying to keep my heart pure. Jesus, I know you carried me, but how can I be sure? Back to back, we take our stand to have faith in the Lord. I lift my voice to you. It's something I must do. When we lift up your name, driven from sin, arriving at a love so true. Yes, yes, I lift my voice to you. You gave it to me all along, and I thank you for the music.
Oh, what a night.
For giving it up, for lifting it
Oh,
up.
what a night.
Let it be known, we don't stand alone with Jesus. I lift my voice to you. It's something I must do. When we lift your name, driven from shame, arriving at a love so true. Yes, as I lift my voice to you. Thank you for the gift of song.
You gave it to me all along, and I thank you.
So I lift my voice to you. Yeah, it's something I must do. Something I must do. Your name, arriving at a love so true. Lift up my voice to you. Lift my voice to you.